Dear students, welcome to another video tutorial on operating system. And today's topic is loop and C-loop descheduling algorithm. In our previous tutorial, we have discussed about scan and C-scan descheduling algorithm. Okay, so in this tutorial, we will discuss about loop and C-loop descheduling algorithm. Myself, Niladri Shekhar Park, I am working as an assistant professor at Computer Science and Engineering Department at Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management. The college is under JIS Group Educational Initiative. Okay, and the college is situated at Baraipur. Now, what is loop scheduling algorithm? This algorithm is an improved version of the scan algorithm basically. It is similar to the scan-based scheduling algorithm except for the difference that the disk arm, in spite of going to the end of the disk, goes only to the last request to be serviced in front of the head and then reverses its direction from there only. Loop scheduling is an enhanced version of scan-based scheduling. Okay. Loop disk scheduling is the same as scan-based scheduling, but in this scheduling, instead of going till the last track, we will go to the last request and then change the direction. Okay, so head starts from the last request at one end and end of the disk and moves towards the last request at the other end, servicing all the requests in between. After reaching the last request at the other end, head reverses its direction. Okay, it then returns to the first request at the starting end, servicing all the requests in between. Okay, and the same process will repeat. Now come to what are the main differences between the scan and loop algorithm. Basically, scan algorithm scans all the cylinders of the disk starting from one end to the other end, even if there are no requests at the end. Okay, but in case of loop algorithm, it scans all the cylinders of the disk starting from the first request at one end to the last request at the other end. Okay. Now, what are the advantages of loop scheduling algorithm? Number one is it does not cause the head to move till the end of the disk when there are no requests to be serviced. It provides better performance as compared to scan algorithm. It does not lead to starvation. And next point is it provides low variance in response time and waiting time. Okay. So what are the advantages? The number one is it does not cause the head to move till the ends of the disk. Okay, when there are no requests to be serviced. The next second one is it provides better performance as compared to scan algorithm. Okay. The third one is it does not lead to starvation. And the fourth one is it provides low variance in response time and waiting time. Now come to the disadvantages of loop scheduling algorithm. The number one is there is an overhead finding the end requests. Okay. The second one is it causes long waiting time for the cylinders just verified by the head. Okay. So what are the disadvantages? The number one is there is on overhead of finding the end requests. The second one is it causes long waiting time for the cylinders just visited by the head. Okay. So now we'll do some problem. Okay, this on this loop disk scheduling algorithm. Okay. So as you can see, there is a problem. Consider a disk queue with request for IO on cylinder is given below. Okay, the cylinders are 98, 183, okay, 37, 122, 14, 124, 65 and 67. Okay. Initially the disk head is at 53. Okay. And total cylinder of the disk is 200. Okay. So it will start from 0 and it will go up to 199. Okay. So we will put all the elements, okay, in the ascending order one by one. Okay, so as you can see that we have already put all the cylinders in ascending order like 14, 37, 53, 65, 67, 98, 122, 124, 183 and 199. Okay, only 53 is extra here because it is basically the initial disk. Okay, so first it will move from 53 to 65. Okay, so we can move at any direction. From 53 we can move to 65 or we can move to 37. Okay, so here we have moved towards 65. Okay, so from 65 we will move to 67. Okay, next from 67 we will move to 98. From 98 we will move to 122. Next from 122 we will move to 124, and from 124 we will move to 183. Okay, and from 183 in our scan scheduling algorithm or C-scan, okay, we have moved to from 183 we have moved to 199, but in case of loop this scheduling algorithm we will not move to the last one. Okay, so we will not move to from 183 to 199. Okay, so from 183 we will move to the opposite direction. Okay, and in the opposite direction the first element is 37. Okay, so from 183 we will move to 37, and from 37 we will move to 14. Okay, so this is the loop scheduling algorithm. Okay, suppose if we will move to the other direction. Okay, so then it will be from 53 it will be 37, from 37 it will be 14, from 14 it will be 65, from 65 it will be 67, from 67 it will be 98. Okay, then 98 to 122, from 98 to 122, then 122 to 124, then 124 to 183, and from 183 to it is the end. Okay, so we will not move. Okay, now let's find the total head movement. Okay, so these are the head movements. Okay, 53 to 65, 65 to 67, 67 to 98, 98 to 122, 122 to 124 to 183, and from 183 to 37, and then 37 to 14. Okay, so the total head movement is from 53 you have moved to 65. Okay, so 65 minus 53, then 65, from 65 we have moved to 67. Okay, so from 67 minus 65, then from 67 we have moved to 98. Okay, so 98 minus 67, from 98 we have moved to 122. So 122 minus 98, then from 122 we have moved to 124. Okay, so head movement is 124 minus 122. Next from 124 to 183. Okay, so the head movement is 183 minus 124. Okay, and then from 183 we have moved to 37. Okay, so the total head movement is 183 minus 37, and from 37 we have moved to 14. Okay, so it will be 37 minus 14. Okay, so the total answer is 299. Okay, so this was the problem of how to solve the problem of loop disk scheduling algorithm. Okay, so next do another. So this is problem number 2. Here the cylinders are 4, 5, 45, 21, 67, 94, 950, 89, 52, 61, 87 and 25. And initially the disk head is at 50. Okay, and the total disk cylinder is 100. Okay, so if we start from 0, it will move up to 99. Okay, and after that we will put all the other elements, okay, in the ascending order. Okay, so as you can see that we have put all the elements, okay, that is 4, 25, 24, 21, 25, 45, 50, 52, 61, 67, 87, 89, 90, 99. All we have put in the ascending order. Okay, so initially our disk head is at 50. Okay, so it is now 50. So we can move at any direction. Okay, that means we can move from 50 to 52 or 50 to 45 also, but we have chose to move from 50 to 52 direction. Okay, so at first we will move from 50 to 52. Okay, so we did not move to the other direction, we have chosen to move in this direction. Okay, it totally depends on the everyone's wish. Okay, so from 50 we have moved to 52, then from 52 we will move to 61, then from 61 we will move to 67. Okay, and from 67 we will move to 87, from 87 we will move to 89, from 89 we will move to 90. Okay, in case of scan and C-scan disk scheduling, we moved from 90 to 99, and after that we will go to the opposite direction. But in this case, in loop disk scheduling algorithm, it is an advanced version. Okay, so in this we will not move from 90 to 99. Okay, so we'll move to the other direction. Okay, so we'll move from 90 to 45. Okay, in the opposite direction, the first element is 45. Okay, so from 45 we will again move to 25, from 25 we will move to 21, from 21 we will move to 4. Okay, so this is how we will do the loop disk scheduling. Suppose if we will move to the opposite direction, what will happen? Okay, so then we will start from 50. Okay, so from 50 we will move to 45. From 45 we will move to 25. From 25 we will move to 21. From 21 we will move to 4, and from 4 we will move to 52. From 52 we will move to 61. From 61 we will move to 67. From 67 we will move to 87. From 87 we will move to 89, and from 89 we will move to 90. Okay, so this is how we will move. So this is how this scheduling works. Okay, so now we will find out the head movement. Okay, total head movement. So this was the 0, 99. These are the elements from 50 we move to 52, 61, 67, 87, 89, 90. Then 45, 25, 21, and 4. Okay, so the total head movement is from 50 we have moved to 52. Okay, so the head movement is 52 minus 50. Next we will move from 50 to 61. So the total head movement is 61 minus 52. From 61 we have moved to 67. Okay, so the total head movement is 67 minus 61. Next we will move from 67 to 87. Okay, so the total head movement is 87 minus 67. Next we will move from 87 to 89. Okay, so the total head movement is 89 minus 87. Next we will move from 89 to 90. Okay, so the total head movement is 890 minus 89. From 90 we have moved to 45. Okay, so the total head movement is 90 minus 45. From 45 we move to 25. So the total head movement is 45 minus 25. Okay, and from 25 we move to 21. Okay, so the total head movement is 25 minus 21. And from 21 we have moved to 4. Okay, so the total head movement is 21 minus 4, that is 70. Okay, so the total number is 126. Okay, so this is the loop disk scheduling algorithm. Okay, so next do another problem. So here you can see that the cylinders are 1, 36, 16, 8, 34, 14, 9, 25, and 12. Okay, initially the disk head is at 11. Suppose our total cylinder of the disk is 51. Okay, so it will start from 0 and will end up to 50. Okay, and rest of the elements are will be placed in between in the ascending order. Okay, so as you can see that all the elements are placed in ascending order. Okay, next ours will start from 11. Okay, so from 11 we can move at any direction from left side or right side. Okay, so from 11 we can move at towards 9 or towards 12. Okay, so we have decided to move towards 12. Okay, from 11 we have moved to 12. From 12 we have moved to 14. From 14 we move to 16. From 16 we move to 25. From 25 we move to 34. From 34 we have moved to 36. And from 36 we have moved to the opposite direction. But in case of scan or C-scan scheduling algorithm, we move to the end of the cylinder. But in this case, we will not move to the end of the cylinder. Okay, so we will move to the opposite direction. So from 36 we will move to 9. Okay, so from 9 we will move to 8. From 8 we will move to 1. Okay, so this is how we will move. See, look, this scheduling movement happens. Okay, suppose if we move to the opposite direction, so what will happen? So from 11 we will move to 9. From 9 we will move to 8. From 8 we will move to 1. From 1 we will move to 12. Okay, so from 12 we will move to 14. From 14 we will move to 16. From 16 we will move to 25. From 25 we will move to 34. From 34 we will move to 36. Okay, so this is how we will move in the if we move in the opposite direction. Okay, so anybody can do anyone. Okay, next we will find the total head movement. Okay, so these are the movements. Okay, the total number of head movement is from 11 we have moved to 12, so the head movement is 12 minus 11. From 12 we have moved to 14, so total head movement is 14 minus 12. From 14 we have moved to 16, so the total head movement is 16 minus 14. From 16 we have moved to 25, so the total head movement is 25 minus 16. From 25 we have moved to 34, so the total head movement is 34 minus 25. From 34 we have moved to 36, so the total head movement is 36 minus 34. From 36 we have moved to 9. Okay, so the total head movement is 36 minus 9. From 9 we have moved to 8, so head movement is 9 minus 8. From 8 we have moved to 1. Okay, so the total head movement is 8 minus 1. Okay, so the answer is 60. Okay, so this is how the loop disk scheduling algorithm works. Okay, so next we will discuss about C loop disk scheduling algorithm. Okay, so next comes is the C loop disk scheduling algorithm. C loop means circular loop. Okay, okay, so circular loop algorithm is an improved version of the loop algorithm. Okay, it takes the advantages of both the disk scheduling, C-scan and loop disk scheduling. Okay, in C-loop scheduling, the disk arm moves and services each request till the head reaches its highest request, and after that the disk arm jumps to the lowest cylinder without servicing any requests, and the disk arm moves further and services those requests which are remaining. In C-loop, the disk arm, in spite of going to the end, goes only to the last request to be serviced in front of the head, and then from there goes to the other end's last request. Okay. Thus, it also prevents the extra delay which occurred due to unnecessary traversal to the end of the disk. Head basically starts from the first request at one end of the disk and moves towards the last request at the other end, servicing all the requests in between. After reaching the last request at the other end, head reverses its direction. It then returns to the first request at the starting end without servicing any request in between. Okay, so the same processes are repeats. Okay, So now what are the advantages of C-loop descheduling algorithm? Basically, it does not causes the head to move till the ends of the disk when there are no requests to be serviced. Okay, it reduces the waiting time for the cylinders just visited by the head. It provides better performance as compared to loop algorithm. Okay, it does not lead to starvation. It provides low variance in response time and waiting time. Okay, so what are the advantages? It does not causes the head to move till the ends of the disk when there are no requests to be serviced. Okay, it reduces the waiting time for the cylinders just visited by the head. It provides better performance as compared to loop algorithm. Okay, it does not lead to starvation. It provides low variance in response time and waiting time. And what are the disadvantages? There is an overhead of finding the end requests. Okay, so the disadvantages is there is an overhead of finding the end request. So now let's do a problem of C-loop descheduling algorithm. As you can see that there are cylinder requests are there. The requests are 98, 183, 37, 122, 14, 124, 65 and 67. Okay, and initially the head is at 53. Okay, and the total cylinder of the disk is 200. Okay, okay, so it will start from 0 and will go up to 199. Okay, so the total 200. Okay, and now we will put all the rest of the elements, okay, in between. Okay, so as you can see that we have put all the elements here. Okay, and all the elements are placed in ascending order. Okay, so now our head is at 53. Okay, so we will move from a 53. Okay, so now there is a question that we can move from 53 to any one direction, that is we can move from 53 to 65 or 37. Okay, that depends on everyone's wish. Okay, there is no some hard rule that you have to move to the left or right. Okay, so from 53 we have moved to 65 here. From 65 we have moved to 67. From 67 we have moved to 98. From 98 we have moved to 122. From 122 we have moved to 124. From 124 we have moved to 183. Okay, and then from 183 we have moved to the first element on the left hand side. Okay, so if we move to the right hand side, then after completing the last element in the right hand side, we will move to the last element, first element on the left hand side. Okay, so we are now at 14. From 14 we will move to 37. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, so if we move from other direction from 53, okay, so it will happen from 53 we will move to 37. From 37 we will move to 14. From 14 we will move to 183. From 183 we will move to 124. From 124 we will move to 122. From 122 we will move to 98. From 98 we will move to 67. And from 67 we will move to 65. Okay, so this is how head movements works. Okay, so now we'll find out the total head movements. Okay, so this is the pictorial representation of head movements. Okay, so the total head movement is this one. Okay, so from 53 we have moved to 65. Okay, so the head movement is 65 minus 53. From 65 we have moved to 67, so the head movement is 67 minus 65. From 67 we have moved to 98, so the total head movement is 98 minus 67. From 98 we have moved to 122, so the total head movement is 122 minus 98. From 122 we have moved to 124. Okay, so the total head movement is 124 minus 122. From 124 we have moved to 183. Okay, so the total head movement is 183 minus 124, and then from 183 we have moved to 14. Okay, so the total head movement is 183 minus 14. Okay, next from 14 we have moved to 37. Okay, so the total head movement is 37 minus 14. Okay, so this is how it will work. Okay, so the answer is 322. Okay, so let's do another example. See here you can see the cylinders are 45, 21, 67, 94, 50, 89, 52, 61, 87 and 25. And initially the disc head is at 50. Okay, and the total cylinder of the disc is 100. Okay, so it will start from 0 and will end at 99. Okay, so the total 100. Next, we will put all the elements in the ascending order. Okay, as you can see that we have put all the elements in the ascending order. Okay. Now we will move from 50 to 52. Okay, we can move in other direction also, but we have chosen to move to the right hand side. Okay, so from 50. Okay, so from 52 we'll move to 61. From 61 we'll move to 67. From 67 we'll move to 87. From 87 we'll move to From 67 we'll move to 87. From 87 we'll move to 89. From 89 we'll move to 90. Okay, so now we'll move to the opposite direction, that is in the 4. Okay, so we'll move to the first part of the opposite direction. So we have moved to 4. Okay, so from 4 we'll move to 21. From 21 we have moved to 25. Okay, so from 25 we'll move to 45. Okay, so this is how C-loop descheduling works. Okay, so as you can, I think we are able to understand what are the differences. Okay, so if we move to the other direction, so what we'll do? So from 50 it will move to 45. From 45 it will move to 25. From 25 it will move to 21. From 21 it will move to 4. From 4 it will move to 90. From 90 it will 89. From 89 to 87. From 87 to 67. From 67 to 61. And from 61 it will move to 52. Okay, so this is how it will work. Okay, so now we'll find out the total head movements. Okay, so this is the pictorial representation of head movement. Okay, so now we'll calculate the total head movement. Okay, so from 50 we have moved to 52, so the head movement is 52 minus 50. From 52 we have moved to 61, so the total movement is 61 minus 52. From 61 we have moved to 67, so the total head movement is 67 minus 61. From 67 we have moved to 87, so the total head movement is 87 minus 67. From 87 we have moved to 89, so the total head movement is 89 minus 87. From 89 we will move to 90, so the head movement is 90 minus 89. And from 90 we will move to 4, so the total head movement is 90 minus 4. From 4 we will move to 21, so the total head movement is 21 minus 4. And from 21 we will move to 25, so the total head movement is 25 minus 21. And from 25 we will move to 45. Okay, so this is the total head movement. Okay, and the answer is 167. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, so let's do another problem. Here you can see the discs are 1, 36, 16, 8, 34, 14, 9, 25 and 12. And initially the disc head is at 11. Okay, and the total cylinder of the disc is 51. Okay, so we'll start from 0 and we'll move to up to 50. Okay, so the total head movement is, okay, so we'll now put all the elements in between of 0 and 50 in ascending order. Okay, so as you can see that we have put all the elements in ascending order. Okay, so now our starting head is at 11. Okay, so from 11 we can move at any direction. We can move towards 9 or we can move towards 12. Okay, so from 11 we have moved to 12 here. From 12 we have moved to 14. From 14 we have moved to 16. From 16 we have moved to 25. 14, 14 to 16, 16 to 25. Okay. From 25 we have moved to 34. From 34 we have moved to 36. And from 36 we have moved to the opposite direction. And in the opposite direction we have moved to the first one, the leftmost element, that is 1. Okay. So from 1 we have moved to 8. From 8 we have moved to 9. Okay. So this is how all the elements works. Okay, so this is how the C-loop descheduling works. So if we do move to the opposite direction from 11, what we'll do? From 11 we'll move to 9. From 9 we'll move to 8. From 8 we'll move to 1. And from 1 we'll move to 12. From 12 we'll move to 14. From 14 to 16. From 16 to 25. From 25 to 34. From 34 to 36. Okay, so this is how it will work. Okay, so now we'll find the total head movement. Okay, so this is the pictorial representation. Okay, how the head movement happened. Okay, so now we'll find out the total head movements. So from 11 we have moved to 12. So the total head movement is 12 minus 11. From 12 we have moved to 14. So the head movement is 14 minus 12. From 14 we have moved to 16. So the total head movement is 16 minus 14. From 16 we have moved to 25. So the head movement is 25 minus 16. From 25 we have moved to 34. So the head movement is 34 minus 25. From 34 we have moved to 36. Okay. So the head movement is 36 minus 34. From 36 we have moved to 1. Okay. So the head movement is 36 minus 1. From 1 we have moved to 8. So the total head movement is 8 minus 1. And from 8 we'll move to 9. Okay. So the total head movement is 9 minus 8. Okay. So this is how the element works. Okay. The answer is 70. Okay. So this is the C-loop descheduling algorithm. Hope you have understood about this scheduling algorithm. We have completed all the descheduling algorithms. Okay. If you have any doubt, any query, you can write on the comment section. If you have liked my videos, you can subscribe to my channel, or you can visit www.facebook.com/digitalclassroom Niladviper and like my pages. Okay. So students, thank you for now. See you in the next video tutorial. Okay.